Hey everybody, this is a voiceover analysis of a match, a second set of two sets between myself, Sean Lewis, who's 664 Fargo, and Leah Hurst, who is 492 Fargo at the time of this video. Alternate break, raise to 9, 9 ball. I might have kicked at that, or I might have rolled out instead of kicking at that ball. Unless you had a really good idea what you were trying to do. I don't think the 9 goes on the carom, so I'm just looking at it. Try to be very deliberate and walk around the table a lot to get a better idea of what's going on. I don't mind taking the extra time. So I played that safe to get directly under the 8, but the 5 and the 9 are there as well to help. And that was just a rolling ball. You just got to play the tangent line and let the ball just cruise there. Don't try to twist it or do too much English, because that just makes the cue ball a little bit more difficult to control. So I might jump that if it's jumpable, otherwise 2-rail kick or 1-rail kick. It's all speed dependent. It was a little bit soft for the 2-rail kick, I think. Probably maybe a little bit more pace would have just made it happen. So I can get pretty good on the 4 ball. Should be okay here. Just gonna try to play to the middle of the table. Not try to get behind any balls. And of course, got hooked on it. I think I might try to kick behind this ball, kick it out, and then slide down the rail and use the 7 to hold the cue ball. I was hoping not to make that ball, really. I did not expect to make it. Planning to hit this to make it. Played the speed with a little bit of extra power just so the cue ball can sometimes will scratch their was hoping to bump that ball just to break out the 5 there. I think this is fine. Just gotta play simple position. I practice a lot of center ball hits, so this is just a stun shot. That way you don't have to worry about the cue ball throwing. You put enough pace on it to remove all the collision-induced throw. And then you just play your tangent line and play your speed the right way. Can draw this up to the, or just go one rail with, I typically like to go forward with one rail. You can play it either side, depends on the angle. Alright, scores 1-0. My break. Hit that break a little bit harder than I normally would, but I got away with it a little bit because the cue ball floated down. I don't know if I'm going to try to draw this ball and bump into the 5 to hold it so that I can shoot the 2 in the side. I played for that shot but didn't get there. Leaving a kick shot. One of the things it seems like happens as you get better is you miss a little bit better, so it's still tougher for the other player most of the time. I just probably try to cut this to make it. Yeah. I think we're going to make a recommendation definitely to spend a little bit more time practicing the kick accuracy. Pretty good overall, but I think everyone needs to work on that. Like that ball could be made. It was a little bit tough, but doable. So I wanted to get a little bit more angle than that. I think to play the 3 ball in the corner to the left, but I think I'm going to end up drawing the ball and trying to play the cue ball so I can... Oh, I still had enough angle. I need to get a little bit further for the 4 though. Played that off the top of the 9. If you know it's obstructing, you can use it to play shape. You just have to be confident that you're going to continue to maintain the initial contact point so that you can still make the ball instead of steering it. Sometimes people will steer it to try to achieve a certain kind of billiard. The 7 is right kind of in the way that of the line that you'd like to be. And this is mostly going to be follow. I think people will put left English on this and put too much. Makes the shot very hard. All right, score's 2-0. Doing the best we can there with the rack. On these second sets, when you're coming back, it's important to try to develop a way of resetting, and so you can just get back into the next set no matter what happened the last set. This set is the set that's happening. I mean, pretty good on that one. I play a 2-rail kick shot here. Ideally, if I'm going to play it to hit the one and then the end rail, and then the cue ball's going to have the left hand spin that'll make it go to the side rail. A little off angle. Playing short side for the corner is just fine. Good shot. So take a look at your tip position on that if you want to rewind it. I think you'd spend a little bit of time working on your pre-stroke consistency and developing a little bit more of a rhythm. That will take a while, but you gotta kind of have to decide what your stroke's gonna look like. Got a little funny there. I think because it was so thin, I was assuming I was going to go back into them, so I was playing to either bump the 9 and the 3 or go below, but I came down too far on the initial rail contact, so I played safe. This is pretty good safety. You gotta kick to the right one rail, I think. If you can kick 2 rails this way, that's a good shot also. Good potential to like make it and get shape. I think it was a dual shot. I think on those I have a tendency to put more spin than I should, and it causes it to hit lower. So here I'm going to bump this 6 ball to clear it away from the 8. And then that should like trap the cue ball. So I'm trying to make the shape a little bit easier for myself. I was trying to make sure I maintain proper angles and stay calm and just work my system. As long as you stay adaptable with your thinking, then you can get out of a lot of situations. Just because you know that you're capable of doing a lot of different things, there's no reason to be worried. You can be confident knowing that you have tools in your arsenal, and you don't have to worry so much about being perfect. Alright, 3-0, my break. Stick with the same formula I've been. So basically going to cut this one in as soft as I can and still make it, and that should give me the angle I want for the 2. Might put a touch of left English. That allows me to hit the ball a little bit fuller, and then the throw will cut the one towards the pocket more, but it actually makes the cue ball have less speed on it when it hits the rail. Still came pretty far. Just use a touch inside there to make sure that the cue ball went back and forth below the side pockets. Not sure what I did there. I think I was deciding whether or not I was going to play the shape 1 or 2 rails, and then didn't make a great decision and kind of ended up fizzling out there. to me, when I have situations like that, when you just miss a routine ball, it's normally something going on where you haven't made a commitment to that shot, and that's why it doesn't go. It's pretty tough when you've been struggling already to pull yourself out of it. Kind of when you're sitting in the chair, you gotta meditate a little bit and realize it's all gonna be okay. And it's all like blue skies ahead. You've already faced the worst of it by just showing up. So I'm just going to make sure to draw so I get roughly straight in. I like to play this into the rail. I'd like to use natural follow. Maybe I played a little bit inside there. Experimenting with different Englishes and stuff. But I like to roll the ball as much as I can, play just a small amount of English unless necessary. Made a ball. On this shot, I think you gotta elevate. I think play a little bit of draw and just try to go straight down between the 4 and the 9 and straight back up. If you're going to play for the side, I'm not sure if you can just make it without scratching or not. If you just play the natural. But I think if you can bump the 4 on purpose, that's fine. It's just, you got to be careful. You got to hit it full. Yeah, so that might have been a case of trying too hard to get position. So I'm just going to try to draw straight back a little bit because I want that angle to come around for the 3. So I don't want to get straight in here. Then I'd have to draw it, but I'm trying to play a natural angle. Plus, if I don't draw the ball, draw the 1, then it's a little bit of an easier shot. Maybe I was drawing it back to try to play with follow. Pretty good shot. Just gotta make this ball and go forward. Could play a stop shot safety here if you're not comfortable with cutting it. If I was going to do that, I'd play the 3-ball 2.5 rails. I think that was the safety attempt and not a bank attempt. I said a little bit too. Didn't get the cue ball to go down table enough to use the 5 and the 9 as blockers. So I'm just going to make this ball and play for the combo. That's my plan. Got some love there. I think I was trying to do too much with that combination, trying to play for shape for the 4, and just made it a little bit too tough. Pretty good shot. I'm trying to play the 4 off the 7 down to the middle of the table. I just kind of got trapped up with the 4 or with the 7 ball. I think here I'm just going to play off the right side of the 4 and use the 5 and the 9 as blockers. A little bit of right spin. I like the 2-rail kick to try to make the combo. Pretty good try. Excuse me. That 4-9 was pretty well light up. I just had to put a little power on the cue ball to give action into the 9. So here I need to play a little bit of right English to have it go down table from the 1 to the 2. I think I'm just drawing straight back here. Oh, I had a little bit of angle, so I punched like, it's more like a nip draw. Just trying to stay in control of the rack. Stay in the middle of the table here for the rest of this out, ideally. A little bit of low left. Trying to stay below the angle of straight in so that I don't have to go towards the 8. I'd rather stay either straight in or going towards the rail to play shape. Same thing here, I'd like to be above the 8 or straight in so that I can avoid the 9. So I can just play with follow. Or if I got higher up, I could play to either side. Like I said, these are, you just give yourself whatever. And it's all good either way. Score 6-0. Break and run there. Made 2 balls. Doesn't really have a shot on the break. Looks like a rollout, maybe. If I was going to push here, I'd push to the end rail between the 9 and the 4. Pretty good, almost came up really nice. Probably hit it just a little bit too hard. I play short side position. Scratched off the 7. Oh, there's always a chance. I was trying to hit it fuller. 2 ball to leave yourself straight in on the 3. So you can just draw back a little bit for that 4 ball. You could play this angle here and go forward past the side pocket is how I'd shoot this shot, rather than playing short side. I guess they're either valid. You play it straight in and then go past the 3, or you can play a little bit of angle and then play just a stun over. Not sure if you can punch out far enough to go past the 7 there and still make it. I might even try to draw and bump the 7. Yeah, I think had the ball gone in, then that would have been what happened there. That would have been good. Just missed the shot. Just playing safe there. Queuing over the 7 was tough to do anything to get shape on the 4, so more just playing a holding pattern. Playing it like this because she's a right-handed player, it's a little bit tougher queuing. You might even consider kicking at this ball 2 rails to try to make it. Might not end up with a shot on the 4, but there's a chance. Otherwise, I'd probably play thin, cutting the 3 to the left to the middle of the table, and then trying to use the 4 and the 7 as blockers. You could think about banking this ball and playing your cue ball 2 rails for the 4. You might end up with a 2-way if you play the speed right and get behind those balls. Trying to bank that 3 beyond the 6 and use the 6 as a blocker. I like that shot. I'm going to try to shoot the 6 or the 3 in the side and just float down for the 4. So it's just like punch. A little bit of extra speed there, but I wanted to make sure to get past the 7. I'm going to play a bank shot here. Just going to cut in the side and then play the speed back to the middle of the table. Missed the shot. Alright, so you make this ball, give yourself an angle to come back over to the other side for the 9. Nice and smooth here. Could bank this ball. Might be a shot also. Seven zero. He's made 3 balls here. On this table, it's pretty. Can't make the one in the side on the break. I typically don't go for it. It can leave it to where you don't have a shot after the break. And the wing ball goes fairly often, so I normally just play for that. I was just trying to stop that ball. It's on the rail. Here you could punch up, or you just take the shot you get, roll forward, and then play 4 on the side and go all the way back up for the 6 ball. Pretty good shot. A little bit too straight, really. That was a good shot. Got an unfortunate roll there. Bumping the 8. Kicking 2 rails is a good shot here. So I'm just trying to make sure to avoid the 7. So I'm going to draw here, I think. I'm just going to cut this and play 3 rails. It's more of a speed shot. Alright, score's 8-0. That was a good break. Good potential here. I might try to use draw and write English to play 2 rails for the 2. I can't tell how straight in it is. If it's fairly straight, you can use like left and high ball to go forward and play through that gap between the 3 and the 6. I like to get a little bit closer, that's why I like the 2 railer. Here I think you just follow. You can stun over with draw and write as well. Yeah, that was the right shot. Just missed it. I think on that shot it was a bit too much English. You only want just enough. The English is just used there to turn it off the rail. You're basically trying to use draw to make it level out. And then once it hits the rail, if it's going straight into the rail with the spin, then it can turn towards the 3. So you really want to use less English there than you think. I'm trying to jump this ball. I'm trying to jump this because there's a lot of potential on the 3 if I make it. Missed. If this is straight in, we just gotta work on our rail bridging. I'm just going to try to stop this or draw back just a little bit. This is mostly high. I I need left English to make sure it doesn't go too wide. But I think I just used highball there, knowing that it was going to go a little bit wide, but that's what I wanted. 6 is pretty far out. I was playing this for one rail to the end rail and back down. And the last 9.